How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family is one of them type of videos. Go get your shit. Ted Cruz, really? Really, 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 really. So it looks like based on this picture, I see you and your wife. Now, based on doing the research, my royal family, it seemed like Ted's wife was not around. But if my daughter-in-law, Lisa, didn't say, okay, what's going on with Ted's wife? Because Ted basically is saying that, everything shut down, the schools and stuff. And some of his daughter's friends, went to Cancun, Mexico with their family. And he outright lied and said he just took them down there. Well, they could have went with them. He got money. He got money. One of the staffers could have went. He has a wife. I didn't think of his wife, so I don't never steal anything from anyone. So we clearly see behind Ted Cruz, he's there with his wife. Look like she's elated. She got her little vacation bag. He got his shit, and he did stay overnight. But he's heading back. I wonder why Ted is heading back. So my royal family, we're gonna go on this journey. All right. So let's get into this first video and let's lean all up in it. All right, let's see what's really going on.
His fellow Texans suffering, freezing, going hungry, some of them even dying. Senator Ted Cruz last night flew to Cancun, Mexico for a family vacation. There were pictures of him at the airport and on the plane that popped up on social media. And moments ago, he confirmed that was him. He felt he needed to trade the prickly cactus of his recorded podcast for the inviting palm trees of the Yucatan Peninsula, apparently in the middle of a crisis, a disaster of historic proportions. And what makes this even worse is that Cruz used police resources in the middle of said crisis to make his way to the Sky Zone. Houston police confirming moments ago that Cruz's staff requested assistance to get him to the airport. Now, the irony here is thick because one of Cruz's re-election selling points in 2018 was that he helped Texans during the Harvey disaster.
When disaster struck, Texans came together, helping each other, everyone doing their part. Like Ted Cruz, who brought home billions in disaster relief and passed emergency tax relief for those hit by Hurricane Harvey.
No official, state or federal, has been more involved in the recovery of Galveston County than Senator Ted Cruz.
When the hurricane hit, you stood up for Texas, and Ted Cruz stood up for you.
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
But now Cruz is not up for re-election. He is abandoning his state. It's Bon Voyage, MTV, spring break style, where in Cancun the temperature is a lovely 85 degrees, but in the city that he flew from, home to the people that he serves, it's near freezing there. Of course, Cruz has already proven he's not too sentimental when it comes to those who are suffering through disasters, but normally it's other states. When heat waves caused massive power outages last year in California, Ted Cruz mocked the blue state after the governor called on folks to conserve energy. Quote, California is now unable to perform even basic functions of civilization, like having reliable electricity. Democrats want to make California's failed energy policy the standard nationwide. Hope you don't like air conditioning. Now, when called out on his cruelty, this tweet a couple days ago, Cruz said that he has no defense, and he did the Twitter equivalent of a shrug. Not good, he said, about what was going on in his state. Stay safe, he added. Well, and that brings us to his statement, Lisa, because a short time ago, the senator responded with one. He said, with school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders to get to the bottom of what happened in Texas. My team and I will continue using all our resources to keep Texans informed and safe. Look, we've seen his wife in the pictures, but it seems like maybe he's insinuating that this was his plan to drop his daughters in Mexico. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's a sorry excuse. I mean, if you're trying to set an example, as Anna said, you should be setting an example as a leader for your state. You can set an example for your children as well, showing them that you're doing your job and you are representing Texans and trying to help in any way you can. No, he can't fix the problem directly. This is largely a state issue, not a federal issue. But yeah, we need his presence. We need for him to be advocating on behalf of Texans. And here in Texas, the headline went from Lion Ted to Flying Ted. He's already had, newspapers in his home state calling for his resignation over his part in the Capitol riot, and coming on the wake of that, it's unbelievable, because Ted Cruz is usually nothing but calculated, and this is a very poor calculation, very callous.
All right, that was loud and
Shocking
clear. Let me shut this
allegations
down.
of gang.
I'm gonna shut that down, my royal family. Oh, we got a journey to go on, my royal family. Now you see these folks out here suffering, and Ted had no intent to do anything but go on vacation. But he got that work. People, took pictures of him on the airplane. He used the taxpayers' resources to get to point A to point B. His wife was elated. I've already showed that picture. Him and the wife and the girls could have won. And I was already thinking before this lady had said that. You are a politician. You want to show being a good dad? Pull your damn sleeves up and get out there and help the very folks that voted you in office. You're supposed to be inconvenienced. Oh, it gets much deeper, my royal family. So let's listen to what Anna has to say. She gonna get at work. I love when she goes full tilt.
Ted Cruz is not an electrical engineer. He's not gonna go fix the electrical grid. But people want to see, in the middle of a catastrophe like this, like a hurricane in Florida, for example, you want to see your local government, your state government, your federal government working in tandem. You want to feel that people understand, that your elected officials understand your suffering, your distress. You want to feel solidarity. And when you take a look at, Beto O'Rourke was on a phone bank checking in on seniors, and Chef Jose Andres with the World Central Kitchen are on their way to Texas to help feed people, while their senator is on a flight to Cancun, to an adult playground to go drink margaritas and get some sun. It is obnoxious, it is offensive, and from a political perspective, it is downright stupid.
Well, and that brings us to his statement, Lisa, because a short time ago, the senator responded with one. He said, with school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders to get to the bottom of what happened in Texas. My team and I will continue using all our resources to keep Texans informed and safe. Look, we've seen his wife in the pictures, but it seems like maybe he's insinuating that this was his plan to drop his daughters in Mexico. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's a sorry excuse. I mean, if you're trying to set an example, as Anna said, you should be setting an example as a leader for your state. You can set an example for your children as well, showing them that you're doing your job and you are representing Texans and trying to help in any way you can. No, he can't fix the problem directly. This is largely a state issue, not a federal issue. But yeah, we need his presence. We need for him to be advocating on behalf of Texans. And here in Texas, the headline went from Lion Ted to Flying Ted. He's already had, newspapers in his home state calling for his resignation over his part in the Capitol riot, and coming on the wake of that, it's unbelievable, because Ted Cruz is usually nothing but calculated, and this is a very poor calculation, very callous.
And you've covered him, Lisa. He's also very into social media, so it's not like this would have been surprising to him that people would take pictures of him and this would pop up.
Exactly. I mean, I don't understand it, except that sometimes he is known to put his own self-interests above those of the state, and this is just another example.
And Anna, this comes at a time where the CDC is urging people not to travel.
Look, at least in these pictures, he's wearing a mask. I've seen several pictures of him flying before where he's not wearing a mask. And, Lisa's very right. What we've seen from Ted Cruz in January was him peddling lies that led to an insurrection and an act of domestic terrorism that led to deaths and the injuries of over 140 police. And what we see from him in February is him fleeing the state while his constituents are burning furniture and sleeping in their cars in order to stay alive and not freeze to death. It is a level of who cares? It is a level of it's all about me that really, tells you he has no place in public service. This is inexcusable, and Texans should be outraged. I think that we are outraged on behalf of Texans because we are seeing the images of just how much they are suffering right now. And it should be enraging for all Texans. And he needs to do a lot better than just say, the dog ate my homework and I, pretended that I'm going for one night to drop off my kids. Look, we all saw the bags. We all know that's not true. At least confess to the fact that you were insensitive, that you made a mistake, and that it was very, very wrong for you to leave your state and your constituents in the midst of a crisis like this. He should be right now on the phone, liaising with the federal government, talking to FEMA, figuring out what the federal efforts are going to be to help Texas. There are roles for federal officials for this, and he was derelict in his duty the same way he was derelict in his duty during the impeachment trial and before that, peddling lies.
Yep, she was on point. She was straight on point on that. I have to totally agree. Let me take that down. I have to totally agree with her. Oh, there's much more, my royal family. I always dig much deeper so we can get those sweet, extra juicy nuggets. Now we're going to hear what Lion Ted has to say. So this first video is 1 minute and 41 seconds, and then I got a much longer one. So let's lean all up in this and hear these lies that continue to come from him.
Has confirmed that he did fly down to Cancun amid a historic winter storm in Texas. On Thursday afternoon, Cruz released a statement to the media claiming that he had only gone to Mexico to drop off his daughters. He goes on to explain that with school closed for a week, his daughters wanted to take a trip with their friends, and he says, quote, "Being a good dad, I flew down with them last night." The senator also references the hardships of Texans, saying that it has been an infuriating week. He says that his family had also lost heat and power in the storm. Many social media users were consumed with the speculation over whether Cruz did fly to Cancun as Texas grapples with the storm. On Wednesday night, a Twitter user by the name of Juan Gomez posted this photo of a man who looked strikingly similar to Cruz, standing at an airport gate. Gomez tweeted, quote, "Well, Senator Cruz is flying to Cancun while millions of Texans do not have electricity." The photo and other images from the airport had not yet been verified, but the man in the photo is wearing the same face mask Cruz has been pictured wearing recently. A Republican source told Fox News that Cruz did in fact travel to Cancun, saying, quote, "The photos speak for themselves." The New York Times has reported that Cruz flew to Cancun for a previously planned family vacation. On Thursday, political reporter Jake Sherman noted that a passenger listed as crew.R was on standby for a business class seat back to Houston from Cancun. Cruz's first name is Rafael. The senator's trip comes at a time when Texas has been hit hard by a historic winter storm that crippled its power grid. At one point, more than 2.8 million people were left without power. More than 20 deaths have been reportedly linked to the bad weather in Texas, as well as in other states.
Wow, isn't that horrific? So he was, trying to peddle this little story, and it didn't work. His wife and the girls could have went, but he's being a good dad, unquote. See, these politicians, I want y'all to understand. I can remember in Civics 1 and 2 when I was in high school, we got real deep talking about the origins of politicians when they were making, unquote, America. And back then, the politicians were the poorest in the community, so they knew the needs of the community. And over time, that has switched. A lot of these politicians are literally millionaires, and they don't give a damn. And he's just being true to his nature. He just figured, yeah, I got a cell phone. I can hawk off orders, while with my pina colada and, under the sun. And I'm going on this vacation with my wife and my children. smooth busted. And then you're going to confirm, yeah, that's me. No, you busted. It's not a good look at all. And then you want to bitch and complain that, oh, you have some issues in your household, but you have the means. You ain't doing shit, Ted, but you busted and it's juicy. As we continue on, my royal family, so let's lean all up in this next video.
Well, Texas is going through horrific storms, and millions of Texans have lost power, have lost heat, and have been hurt. And our family was among them. We had no heat and no power. And yesterday, my daughters asked if they could take a trip with some friends, and Heidi and I agreed, so I flew down with them last night, dropped them off here, and now I'm headed back to Texas and back to continuing to work to try to get the power on. What's happening in Texas is unacceptable, and a lot of Texans are hurting.
una entrevista que no puede ser grabada. ¿Me permites, por favor? Gracias. Muchas gracias.
What a bad look, my royal family. Wasn't that a badass look? Look like Ted Cruz ain't been missing no meals and stuff. I felt very compelled to show this video, and this is the attitude of most politicians. You know, when the first phase of this video, they were showing that feel good stuff. That's when they need something of you, and there is nothing Ted Cruz could tell anybody that old made up story. You want to be a good dad? Show that the very people that voted you in, the very people that have a need, that you and your whole family would roll your sleeves up and be an example. And you want to bitch about, well, we don't have no power to. You have the means. But he's acting on his true nature. He didn't want to be inconvenienced. He wants to chill in the sun and hawk off orders. You would think, because see, You know, even though the presidents, they have advisors and stuff, well, these politicians, these, people that are in government, period, they have advisors too. You would think somebody would have told him, I don't think that's a good idea right now. I don't know if somebody told him or not, but that ain't a good look. And he did stay overnight. He had his intent. It's all about the intent, my royal family. He had no intentions of even dealing with that. You know, he didn't feel like he had to physically be there. But, you know, people done got on your ass because it's a bad look. Ain't it juicy, my royal family? I like stuff like this. Real juicy like. So, Ted, now it's time to save face. It's too damn late. And when I was, because Twitter is over there putting in that work, you should see some of these pictures these folks is putting up. I mean, I was rolling looking at this. Look at this shit. You always see him with his luggage. So that was a overnight bag. Oh my goodness. There's Bernie Sanders chilling. We got the cartoons. Just wearing you out. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Let me take that down a bit. Of all places, you had to go to Mexico. Oh, there's your daddy screaming at you, Ted. Ain't you feeling some kind of way? I know you got to be feeling some kind of way. He ain't feeling nothing. But we know why he's back. Because it wasn't a good look. And it wasn't a good example. You were supposed to be being a good dad. So it wasn't a good example. You know. You got to remember, the very money that's in his pocket come from the taxpayers. And these people feel entitled and privileged. They're sickening. So it is what it is, my royal family. You know, his actions speak for thyself. There's nothing more that I can add. But what you can do, my royal family, is render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And it's always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. Bad luck.